My goodness. Hey, morning, Rob. So you wouldn't tell it the market, but 3.3 million people went unemployed. Market's up 2%. Gotta love the stock market sometimes. Where was I going with this? I was gonna go back here, and I was gonna go to. Okay, I'll keep that one. Let's go check out the FinViz. Obviously, market doesn't care what's going on. Let's check out CNBC. So yeah, I think everyone knew it was gonna be bad. So I guess it's a non-issue. We'll see what happens. Oh. Wendy's withdraws outlook and draws down revolver as same-store sales plunge 20%. Mnuchin says stimulus checks in 3 weeks. Okay. Yeah, I don't know, Rob. You see, I mean, obviously, look, we hadn't had any economic data come through, just coronavirus news, yet the market, is down tremendous percentage points here. Market down, about 32% to the low. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if they've already counted in a really bad unemployment number or two. It's not like we're up here and, jobs are down 3 million. Oh, what the hell? And then it plunges. It's already been plunging. So we'll see what happens. I will say Tilray yesterday had a tremendous volume day. And look at this, from 300 to 2 in basically a year and a half. I can't remember anything close to that wasn't just complete. I mean, I really can't remember anything close to that. That is such an amazing, and this has nothing to do with coronavirus. Maybe this last 90%, but not the first 90%. I mean, absolutely crazy. But the market itself here isn't, let's zoom in here a little bit. I won't say it's that unexpected. Yesterday there was a sell-off at the end of the day. People just taking some daily risk off the table. This is Tilray. We don't need to be looking at Tilray for this. Oh, I guess that's why, because it's up 25%. Square up another 11% today. But yeah, look at Square yesterday towards the end of the day. Really giving a lot up and increasing volume towards the end on the dive. The final candle, a little bit of buying. And then this is your dark pool settling right there. But right back up at it towards the high of the day on Square today. Let's look at... Oh, I'm trying to see little tiny things. There we go. Haven't looked at this yet. So it looks like Bitcoin's down a little bit. Let me just glance at that. And then we'll go back to the stock market. Okay, United Airlines. The first day where it's not almost a double-digit move in United Airlines in a while. This is a record, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, when was the last time UAL was not up or down over 10% in the past week or two? So pretty tremendous move. We talked about going sideways in the markets and being pretty healthy. Everything green right now except for deep Dropbox. Oh, just went green. Never mind. Boeing up 10%. Caribbean 2%. Win 5. Play up 4. TQ's up 6. That EXIV bouncing back nicely today, up 10. Oxy up 10 out of some lows here. We're kind of coming up to some resistance levels up here towards 14 or 15 bucks. I say that, but we're still almost $2 away. But that could be really cheap for an oil stock that was up at $40 recently. That's pretty amazing. Almost a 3x right there. And then Tesla's still happy at 550. Not really selling off yesterday. That's pretty bullish. So yeah, I'm not sure, Rob. It's maybe it has something to do with the market's very algorithmically based at this moment in time, but the market doesn't behave like it used to. I will say that. It does have very, very quick drops and very, very quick recoveries. I mean, the 2018 bear market was a prime example, right here. Kind of a stair step down, then a walk back up in a V fashion. Didn't get any kind of roundedness to this bottom. So maybe we'll find something here. I think everybody was expecting big unemployment numbers. They just didn't know how big. 2 million, 3 million, who cares? The Fed's pumping money, I guess, is the end result right now. So we're still enthusiastic today, about half as enthusiastic as yesterday. We had a lot of things up 50%. Now we have a few things up 20%. But I mean, still overall pretty good. Could have another shakeout in the market, but I don't know. So far so good, I guess. Royal Caribbean now down a little bit. Let's let this morning stuff wear off, and then we'll see what the day holds. The first 15-30 minutes of the day can go any direction, to be honest with you. I think at this point, we head down at some point, but I think we put in the low unless something else major changes. That's a possibility. We've been talking about that here for a while, actually. Talking about adding those small Q position sizes down lower here on the spikes down. Had 2 or 3 opportunities to do so, and now we're up a little bit. Look, ideally the low's been put in. That would be good. We talk about a follow-through day. We can have one as of tomorrow, and if our volume remains lower, then that makes the job all the easier. Now keep in mind what a follow-through day is. It's a day with a large gain, usually about 1 to 1.5% plus, and you have to have day volume higher than the previous day. So that's a follow-through day, and as long as we have these low volumes, it's pretty easy to have a follow-through day. You can see these 2 low volume days, like if this wasn't a down day, this could have been a follow-through day right there. So if we get some lower volumes today, a follow-through day is going to be relatively good. And I think that works because when you have low volume days, and this goes for breakouts too, excuse me, when you have low volume days, then high volume steps in, usually it's a trend change. And so by waiting a few days for the market to kind of calm itself down, and then go back up again in a frenzy, that's good. That's following through off of a bottom. Yeah, I mean, TQQ looks really good today. But you're up from earlier, which is why we talked about getting in TQQQ earlier, because that's going to be, I mean, that's what's better than that. And even if the market does go down a little bit, I don't think it's the end of the world. Unless we see again more shoes drop, more calamity. But the Federal Reserve, I'm not super happy with their moves. Maybe they've made a couple of missteps, but maybe them jumping in early did us good and we don't even know it. That's why they don't listen to people on YouTube. But Oxy now up 12%. But if there is another shoe to drop, there's not much else they can do other than what they've already done. But they've already said they're going to do everything to buoy the market. So yeah, 3 million is tremendous. Now I was reading it this morning. At least the news article bullet point about it said that for the first time, there you go. Said that for the first time they're going to take self-employed people. I'm not sure how that's going to work. How to file for unemployment when you're self-employed. Now this is obviously new, so oh, this is old. So let's look at this the past 24 hours. Oh, past an hour, I guess. Collecting on 13 minutes ago. Here we go. Let's see if they've got a. There you go. Federal government expanding benefits. Oh, okay. So legislation is not approved yet, so we don't necessarily have a lot of information. But that's going to be. I mean, I didn't even think you could do it at all when you were self-employed. The fact that it was even possible really makes it interesting. So Fiat Chrysler establishes new credit line about 3.8 billion, which is good. Slack tells the CEO of how crazy things have been this month. 9,000 more net customers. There you go. Publicly traded company with investors who I am fiduciary. Oh, see, that's the problem. You're a fiduciary to your investors. That's why the stock market's all jacked up to the normal person. Alright, here's this thread here. Hiring budget targets. So, in Florida State, being contacted by CDC about potential SARS exposure, COVID-2 exposure. Closed headquarters the next day and do a deep clean over the weekend. The employee had no symptoms and was self-quarantining. Now, okay, thankfully. That evening policy discussions intensified. Friday made the call strongly encouraged all employees to work from home. Planning intensifies. A lot of work too by the time we communicated to employees on Saturday. There were 400 cases in the U.S. I'm not going to go into all of this. Interesting. Good thing too is that this unemployment is more of a sitting at home. They have a job to go back to, hopefully. Yeah, hopefully. I think in time, everyone's just going to want to get back to normal. I don't think this is the thing people are going to want to drag out, to be honest with you. So, once the customers start coming back, they'll start hiring people back, and I think we'll be back. We'll be back pretty quick. I think the snapback will be good, which is why I really wasn't waiting for follow-through days for entry positions. Like I said, entry positions. So, all right. So we're doing okay. Royal Caribbean down 5% today there. We have yet, really lately we haven't had a negative day in almost a week in a lot of these stocks. That's been interesting. So you got Dropbox kind of bucking that trend with a few negative days there. Square's still up for 4 days in a row. Tesla's up from the 400s with one red day. And everything else is doing okay. Boeing stalling off of its highs from the open. We'll see what this unemployment number means. Maybe there's more news to come that I'm just not aware of. I wonder if there is more news to come. They have a guide or something. Nah. Not really. So I think we've started the great stagflation, if you will, at least in the stock market for right now. Volatility is being reduced. You can see we only have one stock up double digits, which is abnormal for the past week or two. So that's getting us back to normal a little bit here And our EXIV bouncing up a little bit due to that. ZIV yesterday took it on the chin pretty deep, but still that gives an opportunity for entry as eventually volatility will subside. I mean, we can't stay that volatile forever. It's got to come down. So there's that Oxy up double digits. See if oil's doing anything. Down 4% today. So back down. Yeah, Oxy's interesting. I'm not sure why. It was moving with oil. I'm sure a lot of the stocks were. Now it's actually bucking the trend of oil, which is down 4% today. So that's interesting. I wonder if that's a sector thing. Oil, gas, refining, all up 5% today. Chemicals up a little bit. Agricultural chemicals. Some more oil. Drilling and exploration. Major internationals still tracking oil. Independent, mostly positive, little all over the place. Yeah, so that's interesting. I'm not sure if I'd be jumping in on Oxy. As we've been discussing, maybe getting this lower like yesterday would have been a good day if we can. But again, with oil down so deep, I'm not sure if getting the oil plays. Oil could stay down for, almost indefinitely, just depending on Iran's or Saudi. I keep saying Iran. Depending on Saudi Arabia's play there. Square up 8%. Looks like the Q's pulling in just a little bit. Yeah, see, here's the thing. I don't think we rally on the news of 3.3 million people unemployed. But the fact we didn't open to a gap down is good. Mega bull trap. Morning, Julius. Mega bull trap. Could be. You never know. Could be. Hey, Stratra. But like I was saying earlier, look, we already know stuff's going to happen. No earnings have come out and the market's dropped 30% on the Qs here. So, some numbers are built in. Apparently, this unemployment number is built in. If they were really that concerned, they would have sold it. Still early for me. Still a little bit early for me. So, but yeah, it's a... I like to look at the market's reaction to things and not how I think it should react. It's easy to get caught in the game of, we're being tricked because of this, and this, and I play that game constantly. Not saying I don't. I do, and I have to stop myself from doing it. Or think when it's realistic or not, because sometimes it is, sometimes it isn't. Hold on. Hey guys, hold on another minute. I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. Paul asking if everyone's feeling okay. I don't know, Paul. I don't know. I think Rob's a little sick. Of course, I think he's been sick for a couple decades now, probably. Julius looks like he's panicking. I'm just kidding, Julius. I'm just making fun of people right now. Justin, what's up, Justin? Good morning. People might take some profits and dump stocks later in the day. Could be. Yeah, could be. We'll have to see. I mean, 3.3 million is massive. I cannot emphasize how massive that number is. But, I mean, we've seen just so many things in the past. Like, look at that. Okay, let's take the chart back as far as we have data. You wonder what breaks on an economy looks like? Right there. That's breaks on an economy. But the market already knew that. That's the thing. The market knew that. So I don't think it was a situation where people were necessarily caught off guard. I don't think that is the case. Mnuchin says jobless claim data is not relevant as Senate coronavirus stimulus changes the calculus of business owners. I think Mnuchin's statements are not relevant because he's an idiot. No, not that he's an actual idiot. I really don't know anything about the dude, but he's politicking it up. I'm using that as a verb. Julius, have you been really sick for about a week? You make me feel bad about making my jokes. And so far the market here, kind of eating up some jobless claims. Hexo just jumped 30. Dude, all the MJs are up today. Tilray up 32%. MMNFF 25%. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. I think it could just be more short covering, but Hexo, yeah, right now rocking it. Wow. Why? Who the hell knows? Well, what are you doing in the room with us, Julius? You're supposed to be quarantining. That's not good. Come on, man. You just got robbed sick. You're not social distancing. You're supposed to have 6 Stratras between every comment. Okay? Man. Guys are irresponsible in here. I'm going to have to implement some rules or something. And I think Paul's the one to write the rules. Yeah, that would be a good job for Paul. See, there you go, Julius. See, much better. Yeah, I like that. Next comment. And then Stratred again. Oh, that's funny. Morning, Eli. Eli, Paul, you didn't socially distance. What are you doing? YouTube doesn't like me? That's for sure. I do know that. I know YouTube doesn't like me at all. That much I can tell you. These MJ stocks, though, man, they're having massive gains today. I mean, maybe they're just too cheap. I mean, they were down at $2. Now they're at almost $7. Anybody want 200% in like 6 days? You just missed it. Were you around anyone who knew or had this a random thing? I think that's meant for you, Julius, if you've got the coronavirus. Me and my family actually went out in public a little bit yesterday. Reminds me why I don't take my kids out in public, and I won't be doing that again for the remainder of this event. But they were so stir crazy. They were nuts. We were just going to drive around, then they wanted to go to my friend's. My friend manages a Jamba Juice, so we went there, and he just hung on the door, like all over the walk-in bar that goes in the middle of those commercial doors. Just hung on it. I'm like, dude, get away from the freaking door. Anyway, Yeah, that's weird, Eli. I don't know. Maybe that's why everyone's here a little bit late. Where's my my stream stats? Oh, 15 people. That's pretty good. All right, guys. If you guys are enjoying my oddly crazy live stream, please hit that like button. Get some more people on my crazy stream. Maybe people will actually want to. Maybe YouTube will actually want to have people on here. So 3 likes. Come on, you can see the number of likes. You guys suck. All you guys suck. Okay, 5 likes. Now you don't suck so bad. I wonder if it's one of my settings or something. They give you some settings you can play with. Real stocks, none of you have jobs edition because we're down. I gotta add a description. Down 3.3 million jobs. You have nothing else to do. Watch me be an idiot and make fun stock calls. See, it's not made for kids, so yeah, I don't know if they would be actually restricting my thing or not. Oh, I lost a person. We didn't need them anyway. Screw that guy. I didn't like him anyways. Tilray has an open lawsuit till May 5th. I would wait for that. Well, it didn't wait to drop from 20 to 2. It's not gonna wait going from 2 to 10. So it looks like it's on its way to 10. Crazy. Oh, and your aunt has it, really? Wow. Damn, Tilray. 40% right now. Hexo. I'd probably jump into Tilray before I got an MMNFF or Hexo. But 43%, I don't know. That's rough right there. But look at this volume at the bottoms here. I think there's some people just picking at it, some institutions just picking. I mean, market's still up. You got MJ going for a 50% day, which is nuts. Absolutely crazy. Of course, it is like one of the most beaten down sectors, so they're probably looking for value like we were talking about with Dash and crypto. Still down 55% from their prior base. That is a huge move. All right, let's see what options are going back to 15. Let's see how crazy this is. Oh, they don't have options. Okay. Makes our job easy. But that is a tremendous, tremendous rally. It's not advisable to get in anything up 50% unless you're used to day trading these types of instruments. These can easily come crashing down and take 20% out of you before you know it. Oh, most of that was a gap. Wow. Looks like it. UAL, the new BTC fork? Where's my... There we go. Well, it's fairly stagnant today. Tesla's up nice 2%. What happened to my chat? Chat went away. EXIV, the second or third member of the double-digit club today. Boeing up 10%. Don't short Tesla. Just saying, it's just a good thing to not do is short Tesla. Tesla looking super tight right here. Just very, very good price action. I would the volume's a little bit low, but granted, I mean compared to recent history, look at the volume down here. Look at the volume aggregation tool on Tesla. Very nice. You got a beautiful expansion here, especially up off the bottom, and a bit of selling up in here. But after that, it looks like we're reducing volatility, and at the moment, it looks like sellers have control. But maybe we'll do a pause on Tesla. I think we'll generally do a pause in the market. Just waiting for it. It just hasn't happened yet. You would think the 3.3 million unemployment numbers, but I wonder if they are. I wonder if they're waiting for this bounce to stop before they sell off. I don't know. Going straight up from here would seem very strange. I would definitely expect at least some sideways action, so at least a move back down here, maybe towards the 178 level. Maybe we hold this gap. Maybe we fill this gap on the Qs. Hard to say exactly. But I think a move straight up from here seems a little bit strange. But I'm just going to let the follow-through day guide me and not really try to think too much. It's a great way to do it. That EXIV up 10% now. Looks like on this 2 2-hour chart. Oh, 15-minute chart here. You got a little declining channel on this guy. So if you guys are looking for an entry, remember, if the market does get less volatile, you got about a 400+%, until this gets back to somewhat normal, up there at the highs, about 200% to somewhat normal levels for EXIV. That's a play on the FEZ, which is a Stocks 50 index. And you can see we're already coming back pretty nicely right there. The X factor in this whole thing is really the Fed. I don't know how else to really put that. This is the Fed. All right, play doing okay. A little bit of a red day yesterday, but not bad at all. Not really too mad at Dave & Buster's here. Obviously, the longer that the quarantines happen and we're closing businesses, the longer Dave & Buster's will suffer. Maybe when they come back, businesses will go do team building and go to Dave & Buster's. Who knows? Heard Tesla will be producing ventilators. Might be bullish. I know I don't know if they actually are. He did make some comments regarding it. He said he can make them easily, but not... Oh, there we go. New York Gigafactory will reopen for ventilator production. Oh, okay. Yeah, I didn't hear that. My mouse just died? I think my mouse just died. That's what I have a trackpad for. That's the good part about having a laptop is a trackpad. The problem is this trackpad stops working after once in a while. Aw, see? Look at that. We'll do whatever is needed to help in these difficult times. There you go, Elon. Growing up a little bit instead of calling a freaking Filipino dude a pedophile like a douchebag. And I like Elon Musk, but that was pretty douchey. Even if you think that, you don't tweet that. What an idiot. How you just switch over a factory? Well, knowing Tesla, it's gonna take about 9 months, and then they'll be making the best ventilators on the planet. But it'll take them about 9 months to get there. That actually reminds me a little bit of myself, to be honest with you. Not that I'm Elon Musk, but back in the day, my first love was cars and car audio. I was really, really heavily into car audio. I still really do love audio. And there was a joke that if you wanted the best, you would ask me, but you'd get it in 2 years. And they weren't wrong. You would get a banging system, but it would take me a long ass time. Kind of like my trade triggers right now. Yeah. Speaking of which, my trade triggers is actually loosely testable. So we're still working on getting it up completely, but it's on a URL and I can pull it up on the interwebs. Yeah, it's pretty fun. There's a problem connecting to my back end though, but once we get that solved, then it'll be the front end will be operational, and we're going to work on getting the back end and the front end linked up. Suspend production as Fremont factory. So yeah, I guess they're doing something like that. Just a normal good day for the markets, it looks like. Q's going up. Maybe we're just going to keep doing that. The Q's are just going to keep going up. All right, that's why you don't buy Tilray up 50%. Just drops on you 13% or 8% or whatever. Yeah, it's hard to buy when it's up that high. Just don't. You just don't do that. Now, if you're used to trading these environments, maybe you recognize a pattern or a way something's pulling back, and you can try to get in on a pullback. But in a lot of circumstances, that's just a fool's errand. In a lot of times. Wish I could have these lit up by sector. That'd be pretty cool. I'm sitting, Justin. Justin asked if anyone's buying today or just sitting on their hands. I'm just sitting. I've got some positions in from lower. Now, I did take a hedge yesterday with the unemployment numbers coming out. So I may, depending on how we go the rest of the day, I may close that hedge. But TZA down 16%. One thing we haven't looked at is the Russell. Let's look at the Russell. TZA, by the way, is the Russell 3 times short. Already spiked down to lows of 2015. NASDAQ hasn't gotten close to that. That's crazy. Right there at 945. That's nutso for the Russell. The Russell is an index that deals with smaller caps traditionally. Their market also never did hit new highs. You see right here. Never did quite get up as high as the NASDAQ did, because if you remember, when we were going on the way up, a majority of that bull run was in the mega caps, which are not involved in the Russell 2000, and everything else was actually lagging, believe it or not. Not sure if you knew that. Not sure if I even talked about it, but that was the case. And yeah, the Russell, which I haven't looked at in a very long time, was not able to eclipse those prior highs from 2018 from the bear market. So it came up, did a loose double top, and then rolling over. So again, small cap index, and small caps are going to get hit the most by this. Those mega caps, Apple obviously has a ton of cash to weather storms. Microsoft, a ton of cash to weather storms, and they're just Microsoft. So the mega caps really have the ability to buck the general trend, and you've seen that with their market performance lately, actually. But the stocks that compose of the Russell 2000, see, here's the prior low that the NASDAQ's holding. Here's the NASDAQ right next to it. So here's that low in 2019. Oh, wow, this looks completely different. Never mind. Here's the low. There's the low from 2019. We're firmly below that on the Russell and firmly above it in the NASDAQ. So that goes to show you the mega cap, the staying power of the mega caps. I will say this. So the Russell has TNA, which is 3 times. And this is going to be a nutso trade. That's almost 450 to 500% back to highs. But keep in mind, remember when I mentioned the other day about when you go into these 3 times ETFs, when you get back up in the regular index, you don't get back up in the 3 times ETF? So here you have a situation with a loose double top on the Russell, and on TNA, which is a 3 times ETF, you got a situation where you're firmly below that prior high by 24%. So we rallied here about 125%, or on the Russ, we rallied 120. So if maybe we have a downward sloping trend line here on the Russell, we'll maybe hit on the next leg up. I don't know. But Russell very beaten up right here, and you still got about 200+%, maybe to a trend line to early next year, which that's a great gain right there too. But I would argue that TNA being a 3 times derivative of the Russell 2000 is probably still more risky than TQQQ. But we'll see what happens. I mean, this is still down pretty low here, pretty big volumes up here. I think picking at this, making this part of a portfolio, this and TQQQ or TQQQ, I think could be good. Again, understanding we're just way down here, and it's hopefully unlikely that we stay down here for long. But the market, these leading stocks are bouncing back quicker. Ooh, Tilray's back up 45%. But some of these smaller names, let's see what the bigger names are in the Russell. I wonder if we can look that up. Components of Russell 2000. Okay, so you're not actually... I had a feeling you weren't actually going to give me the components, you douchebag. iShares... Constituents and weights. Maybe that's where we'll get it. That says FTSE though. Yeah, this may not be the right... This may not be the right Russell. Again, filter by region. Russell US indexes. Russell 2000. Here we go. Oh, I get a PDF. Looky. Okay, so the weight, and it's definitely not, looks like alphabetically, which is stupid. All right, so this is pointless, but we can't sort or anything like that. How stupid is this? Why would you? So Adamesis is 0.2%. That must be a larger one. Yeah, so this is pointless. Anyway, I'm not going to sit here and sort through a stupid PDF that I can't sort. What's the difference between the TQQQ and the QQQ? Asked Tyler. Well, thanks for joining, Tyler. Yeah, well, what you get here, if you're familiar with an index, the NASDAQ is an index, right? NASDAQ's also an exchange, so they're an exchange as well as an index, which is pretty rare, the rest of them. So, for instance, the Dow Jones is not an exchange. The S&P 500 is not an exchange. The NASDAQ is an exchange, and it is also an index, meaning that it takes all those stocks in the NASDAQ and derives in some way, shape, or form a value from that, and that becomes the index. Now, but you can't actually buy that NASDAQ index. So Invesco is a business right here, Invesco. They started the QQQ, which is a derivative, meaning it's something that someone just made up. It's a derivative of the NASDAQ. So the QQQ is derived to mimic the move of the NASDAQ. So if I type NASDAQ, I'm not sure if I can actually, NDAQ. The hell? Oh, is this the actual company? Oh, that's weird. That's interesting. Anyway, so the Qs are just a derivative of the NASDAQ. So if you're to look at a chart of the NASDAQ and a chart of QQQ, they should mirror each other identically. The TQQQ, which I think we have down here, is a triple leveraged version of the QQQ. Now it's put on by ProShares, which is a completely different company, but their job is to get 3 times the performance of the NASDAQ. So here you have this up 9.35%, and the Qs are up 3% right now. So you can see they're about triple the NASDAQ. So that's their job, is to get triple the performance of the NASDAQ. So NASDAQ goes up 1%, TQQ goes up 3%. On the flip side, if the NASDAQ goes down 1%, TQQQ goes down 3%. Just you need to be sure you can play in those waters, really, to be honest with you. You've got to be sure you can play in those waters. It's very dangerous if you don't know what you're doing and you decide to play in those waters, because it can wipe you out pretty quick. But on the flip side of that, if you do pay attention, I really can't think of a better instrument than the TQQQ for investing, even longer term investing, which is not designed for longer term investing. And these do have inefficiencies, but I mean, overall, what you're looking at here on the TQQQ for those uninitiated is back to highs. You're looking at 140% gain. Back down here when we were picking at shares, you're looking at about a 200% gain, 200+% gain. So I can't think of a single name I'd want to buy where I'm going to get 200% and be almost guaranteed that 200%, because this is just triple the NASDAQ. In time, the NASDAQ will go back into highs again. Could take a while, but I'm willing to wait for 200%. It's pretty good. And their fee's reasonable. It's under 1% management fee for that particular ETF, so it's not too bad. All right, so Tesla Square. So the market's holding up here pretty good, up 3% now. We started off the day up 2%, kind of on a gap. And let's see how we're going to handle the highs of yesterday, if we're going to get over that or if we're going to start stalling. Like I said, I can't imagine we're going to rally hard on a day where there we go. I can't imagine we're going to rally hard on a day where we get 3.3 million unemployment on the day, but the fact that we're not crashing is pretty good and pretty healthy. Maybe it's just the Fed buying everything. Who the heck knows? Discover's up 14%. Look at Discover, DFS. Okay, they've been up for a minute. 70% back to kind of some decent levels right there. Already significantly off the lows. About 80% off the lows. Again, pauses in this area would be very normal. Very, very normal. We're not so getting it. It's like Boeing up a little bit. Thought they were going to pause today. Maybe we don't move up much more than that. Plays coming back up about 9%. So this is more normal in this type of a situation to get a pause, and then we see if we roll over or we continue upward. But so far, not pausing too much. Visa 3%, MasterCard 3%. MJ ETF up 10% after just being significantly decimated along with the rest of the MJ sector. Microsoft up 4%. That's pretty aggressive. Yesterday they sold off at the end of the day. That may be our future here at some point. Yeah, actually, let's look at the 15-minute here on these days where we've gotten up. So this day we accelerated into the end of the day. Yesterday we crashed into the end of the day. I would argue that's probably a net positive. You can see here on my volume aggregation tool, we aggregate positive all through this area. And now we're back to loosely bearish. Wait till the end of the fourth day or the start of the fourth day. If you're asking about a follow-through day, Rob, it doesn't have to be on the fourth. You don't get a follow-through day on the fourth day. It's conditional, but you can't. Now this isn't 100%, but you can't have a follow-through day on like the second, third day. It has to start on the fourth day. Now in 2015, William O'Neill himself came out and said this is a follow-through day on a rare 3-day follow-through, and it was over Christmas break. And he actually came out and overrode the rules, which is the badassness of William O'Neill, and called a follow-through day on that day, and the market went on to have spectacular gains. But traditionally, it has to be up over 1% or a substantial gain, which you can argue is probably 0.8, 0.9% plus, and then it has to be with volume higher than the prior days. And that's a follow-through day. It's not that we're waiting for the fourth day to buy. It's that we're waiting for the fourth day to start looking for follow-through days. Oh yeah, my mouse doesn't work. All right, so let's go. So everything's kind of hanging out from where we, not where we started, but I guess kind of where we started. Loosely where we started. Tesla was basically flat at about 550. And we're just kind of hanging out there right now. UAL looks like up a little bit. Microsoft up a little bit. And yeah, Boeing still does pretty good. If you guys like Boeing, just buy some. I mean, I know it's way extended here. I hate saying just buy it. But look at these gaps, man. It's just extending on the 15-minute. Man, that's government backing you right there. These companies are now basically government backed. That's why you're getting these massive bounces. Otherwise, these would not be massive. Bouncing massively right now, it'd just be too much risk in the market. Same likely with these airlines, UAL and Delta Airlines. Delta up another 10% today, 11% today. United Airlines, 5%. Going sideways a little bit there. Looks like. How did we end up with a red candle here? That one's weird. Must have. Did we close lower yesterday? How did we close? We closed down there, so yeah. That's why it's red, because the close is at the bottom of this green candle. This doesn't look like this is set up to use traditional candle stuffs. There we go. Actually, that's wrong too. Actually, I think the volume signature is wrong. But still, it should give us an option for because usually how candlesticks work, at least how I like them to work, because you can have a couple of different ways. Yeah, so that should be a green candle, but they have hollow candles. So this is an interesting situation. So a little bit of chart school for those of you guys that aren't that initiated in candlesticks and just use whatever's on the chart. This day closed here. This day closed at the top. Why do they look the same? Because it's important where the stock closes. And so this should, in my mind, be an open candle. This should be an outline, a border, and nothing in the middle. And that implies that it closed lower. The whole candle itself should be green, but the body should be clear. Oh, hollow candles. Oh, and see, they're doing an opposite. They're doing an opposite. Okay, I'm not too mad at that. At least I can. That's not how I like it, but I wonder if I can change that too. Doesn't look like it. Looks like I have to conform to theirs. Anyway, so that, yeah, see, so now you see the difference. This is a close on the upside, and the full body candles are closes at the bottom. So this would have closed here. This would have closed here. So at least these make sense. Now my volume needs to be adjusted. And these settings are always wrong. There we go. Now the volume's correct. All right, that took a long way. No, I didn't have work. I didn't have work on here. Oh, nice. I haven't really been looking at Slack. Come on, you. Sucks not having a mouse. I better plug my mouse in so I have it for the crypto power hour. Yeah, see, I really want it the other way around. I want the solid candles first. Yeah, nice big bounce in Slack, huh? That's really nice. That is a V bottom, ladies and gentlemen. So we're at a point where we're going to see either a breakout or some resistance. So these situations are not for the faint of heart. William O'Neill would not buy that. All right, hold on a minute, ladies and gentlemen. I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. Yeah, that's a nice nice rally on Slack. Add that on here. 14%. You know what? We do have. There we go. We do have a few of these Dropbox and Zoom. A few of these kind of work from home stocks up here. Indexes, Apple, Microsoft. Should probably organize this a little bit better. I haven't really taken time to do that. Alibaba, Delta Airlines should be up here. Amazon should be up here with Microsoft and Apple, JD, Alibaba, Oxy. So you can move the TQQQs up. Those are index derivatives, so those should be up with the indexes. And these are fine down here. Looks like I just clicked on play. Boeing. Also put them up with the airlines. There we go. Marriott down there. Royal Caribbean also up with the airlines. We'll put all those COVID destroyed stocks together. Goldman Sachs, gold, silver, Adobe. That can be part of the work from home. There we go. All right, just a little bit of adjustment to everything. So there you can see the Qs and the triple Qs trying to Well, the TQ is trying to balance out with the Qs is really what it's trying to do. Index is pretty good here today, about 3%. Not too bad. Not too bad at all. Looks like play going up a little bit more. I'll take it. Come on, horrible mouse pad. I love the computer, but I hate the mouse pad. It's good when it works, but sometimes it doesn't. Boeing continuing its little rally here, up 16, almost 17%. Very aggressive purchases on Boeing. This was well overblown. If we're lucky, it'll... What the hell just happened? What just happened? That was weird. Anyway, if we're lucky, it'll pull back. But so far, not doing that. SPY itself looks like it's up 4%. Starting to come back. Volume diminishing a little bit. Yesterday's volume was pretty heavy on that pullback. Dow Jones, NQ1, which are the futures. Yeah, still thinking we have a little bit more selling probably at some stage at least. Microsoft. So some of the COVID news. Yeah, COVID update maybe. Worldometers. This place is must be getting a lot of traffic. So still in that parabolic curve, we definitely have not. You can see right here, we definitely have not broken that curve yet. Could I buy that at 5K? That's a great breakout. You're screwed when even on a log scale, you're straight up. Oh, that's linear. That's log. There you go. So this is China. And then this is when the rest of the world started to get it right here. Now we're on our swing back up. And the USA appears to be the new epicenter of cases. Yeah, it could be. Yeah, it could be. It's hard. I mean, it's hard to say exactly because you're right. I mean, there are, but it doesn't mean it was here that much. If it was here more, I would think that the rate of they would have an instant spike instead of this linear curve. Unless this is the exact curve of the tests that have gone out. Oh, I heard about that, Stratro. What's the symbol? Should I just type in COVID? I did hear about that. Oh, wow, they added a bunch of stuff. Holy crap. Wow. Horrible that I'm astonished by their ability to iterate and get all this data together so quickly. What is this? Oh, I'm on log. Yeah, pretty much just data overload. I don't know what this is. Confirmed. That looks like it's India. Oh, it's a stock. It's an actual stock. I was actually looking at a stock called COVID. I didn't know that existed. Confirmed total, death totals. Let's look at confirmed totals. So yeah, the same graph as everyone else at the World Health Organization probably. Yeah, Stratby, you were probably trading that, huh? So let's look in the U.S. Obviously, we know about tests. Oh, that doesn't do us any good. It's just a straight parabolic line. What information are we getting out of Russia? There's 3 people with COVID. Oh, 3 deaths from COVID in Russia. They're good. Let's just move to Russia. Oops. Oh, it could be an index. It's not a cryptocurrency. They had to put it somewhere. They put it under index. Iran. That's just steadily going up right there. Why do they have Florida specific? Oh, there's New York, Florida. Okay, no California, just New York and Florida. That seems strange for the most populous state to not be on here. Yeah, right, right, Stratra. COVID's taking over. If that were it, honestly, if that were in the U.S., that stock would be going up right now. Some douchebags would be buying that, thinking it was somehow with a. I've seen weird stuff like that before. Like you'd see a pump in TSLA and TLSA would be running too, just because some stupid people fat finger orders. How about Florida? It's the same chart. There's really not much to derive out of these charts. It's just the same chart. Was that you yesterday, Rob? Yeah, you mentioned something about it, didn't you? Symbol Zoom? There's a symbol Zoom? And someone... They're thinking they're buying ZM, which is actual Zoom, but they're buying ZOOM. Oh, crap, I messed up. Oh, that's funny. I wonder what they do. I didn't think about that. Sometimes you see pumps like that and you're like, oh yeah, this is someone that doesn't know what they're buying. Oh, Zoom doesn't. Okay, I don't even see it. Doesn't exist. It must be a penny stock or something. Does it give any information on it? It is a penny stock? Okay, yeah. CEO sold at $50. That's exactly what I'm talking about. I guarantee you. Guarantee you. That's exactly what happened here. Yeah, there's no reason. What is Zoom Technologies? Surging because. Oh, I love it. I've actually done that before, years and years ago. I forget what it was, but I just remember. Oh, it is a video conferencing company. Oh, interesting. So it is a video conferencing company. Oh, wow. Oh, no, they're not. Zoom researchers develops and sells electronic communication products for mobile phones as a market cap of $13.5 million. In October, a day after Twitter filed its IPO to go public, investors bid up shares of Tweeter Home Entertainment. I used to work for them, which has a symbol TWT. Oh, I didn't know they're still traded. No idea. Stock gained as much as 1,500%. Oh my gosh. Snap Interactive soared 164% after the social media company Snap filed to go public. Oh, I love it. They're still buying it too. There's no reason for this thing to be this high. Absolutely none. Short it from 10, back down into $2. That's guaranteed right there. Absolutely guaranteed. You want to guarantee? Nothing in life is guaranteed except for this. This going back down. Oh, that's so much fun. That's what I'm saying, Eli. That's a new strategy. So, all right, everyone, let's look for stuff. That's the next play. Look for penny stocks with the same name as the next big. What is the next big IPO? I'm not even sure if we know it. It is not the same company, Shratra. They develop mobile communications, semiconductors. It's not called KG, Rob. Someone put Rob back in the closet. Someone let him out. Someone untied Rob. Put him back. Dropbox work 12%. Q's up 2.5. So floundering about here. Not going too much higher. Can't imagine again that we would rally on the news today, the unemployment numbers, but not selling off is interesting. Maybe we'll sell off the next couple of days. I can't imagine Zoom actually putting up with the bandwidth requirements. It must be on AWS or something. Talk about auto scaling. I was listening to the governor of Arizona yesterday talk about we're not buying new servers or blah. I'm like, why are you buying servers? Why aren't you just on AWS and scaling? That should be your concern. Like, why are you gonna buy servers for some of this stuff? They should at least have something on the cloud, like a backup. At least do a hybrid. Take your on-premise and slowly implement it on the cloud, and then have it auto-scale from the cloud whenever your on-premise gets overloaded. That's what I would do. Someone get me a meeting with the governor. Stat. I'm an architect, right, Eli? That's right. Planet Fitness today. Planet Fitness still looking good. Gym memberships, man, they're pretty. Although my 24-hour fitness that's a couple miles from me, biggest gym near me, that thing was straight up closed. That was about a week ago, I think, when I went out. So everything pretty much closed. I wonder what. Let's look at air pollution levels in California. Air quality right now in California. It's going to be excellent. Everywhere is going to be excellent. Let's look at no, Anaheim. No. Los Angeles. Here we go. So okay, so those are Los Angeles areas. So what's in green? What's green mean? Good. Okay, 0 to 50. Okay, so 0, you're living in the damn forest, and 50 is good. So look at that. All LA is good. I can't imagine that used to be the case. Coming from California. Yeah, I wonder if we can get that in Arizona or something. Yeah, I mean, the air is great right now. COVID reducing pollution. Air pollution goes down as Europe takes hard measures to combat coronavirus. New satellite shows China pollution vanishing. Emissions over China. Let's check it out. Yeah, they call it emissions. That's just us spying on China.
Copernicus Sentinel 5P satellite. This animation shows the variation of nitrogen dioxide emissions from the 20th of December 2019 to the 16th of March 2020.
Oh, they're coming back. Coming back. That's a pretty good chart, though. January. Shut it all down. Tokyo's still producing, though. Nope, Tokyo shut down more and more and more. Yeah. So some interesting effects from the coronavirus. I wonder which ones are going to be lasting. Probably some of the work from home things. Obviously, we're going to get back to dumping toxic waste into rivers. Why not? That's just going to happen. But everything else, yeah, I think a lot of this work from home stuff, some of it's going to stick, some of it's not. Be interesting. All right, guys, I think I'm going to get out of here. And the market's hanging around, kind of keeping the gains they've had so far today. I think, in my personal opinion, this huge decline in the market, when really we didn't have any numbers. There were no numbers, just a huge decline in the anticipation of numbers. And then today with some numbers, 3.3 million unemployed. If that only remains, now I think they do unemployment by week. So if that remains that high for about 4 weeks, maybe we're just going to chill down here and chop around. Keep in mind, this is still a very large range for an index. This is about a 10% range, give or take, for this index. So hopefully we'll just chop around down here and we can get back to business as usual. I can't really imagine us rallying forward from here when we still have the coronavirus and massive unemployment on our doorstep. It's still right there. So I think this first leg is expected, but any additional large amount of time would be met with more selling, in my opinion. Because the longer that people are quarantined and stay down, the longer that we're going to get. It's going to take us longer to pull out of it. The longer we stay down, the longer we pull out of it. If this were to stop today, I think the economy would bounce back with almost no repercussions. Couple jobs lost, this and that, but almost no repercussions. If this lasts another 6 weeks, 6 to 8 weeks, I think it's going to take probably, another 2 to 3 months to recover. You go past that, and I think things are going to start to compound on themselves. But at that stage, obviously, and even before then, the Fed's going to step in, and Congress is going to pass more bills for this and that and the other thing. But so we'll see how it goes. But 30-second crypto outlook, I don't know, Rob. I haven't looked at crypto for even 30 seconds. So it looks like Bitcoin's down 1.3%. General market is flat from yesterday. XMR up 6%. That's good. When XMR is rallying, that's usually good for the market. So I would guess loosely bullish for the market at this stage of the game, but we are hitting recent resistance areas. We're hitting my breakdown points on some of these. Some of these aren't even hitting them. Some of them double top. Some of them didn't even double top. So it's interesting, but with XMR running, that's usually a good sign. XMR doesn't like to lead; it likes to follow. The fact that it's leading is interesting. Yeah, so we'll see. Crypto Power Hour in about 40 minutes or so. So all right, guys, have a good day. I will see you in the crypto show in a little bit if you guys participate in that. Otherwise, I will see you back here tomorrow. Okay, bye.